Go right into the final face-off of the night. It's going to be X-Soldier for CD and none other than Meadowhawk for 07. Gentlemen, greetings. We hope you're doing well. Meadowhawk, I'm going to ask you, out of everything that's happened so far, what has been the one moment for you this season that's just been like, and I think I have an idea.
Well, I think since you guys added in the in-game comms, that's really added a lot of like interesting dynamics to the casts. I have to say my favorite moment is probably Exo's reaction when he got hit by Artie playing AM60s, because his reaction pretty much sums up any tankers in the game's reaction when they get hit by Artie, and it was just spot on.
All right, X-Soldier, what about you, sir? What's been the one thing for you this season that's been your favorite as far as moments?
Maybe whenever we beat AM60s. I mean, it was just showing me that the team is actually there. It could be there, and it just needs work.
Yep. So after tonight, you're guaranteed at least this point 7 seed playing in that online qualifier tournament. Does that take off any pressure, or do you still feel that you guys need this win tonight to try to make the playoffs? Is that, is the pressure the same as it was before the night started, is what I'm getting at?
Not really. I mean, I'm just here to have fun, play a video game. There's no pressure at all.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Well, Meadowhawk, my question for you is, when are we going to meet, my man?
I don't know. I'm hoping, obviously I'll probably come down for live finals regardless if we make it or not. We had a real good chance. I was cheering for High to take down Rival so that we could play Deja Vu. I think Deja Vu is a bit of a softer opponent in the playoffs if we make it, but that didn't happen. Rival show that they've really come a long way in this season. So soon, my friend, soon.
Very well. Well, any final words for your opponent in X-Soldier and CD?
Well, good luck and have fun, and may the best person not get relegated.
All right, X-Soldier, what do you got for Meadowhawk?
Good luck and have fun.
All right, well, we'll see you in game, gentlemen. So, kind of interesting attitude from X-Soldier there. He seemed a little more competitive before tonight. Now it's just him just having fun.
Well, I mean, I think part of it has to do with just the personality of CD. They're a very hot team, and so maybe trying to just kind of cool everyone off. Let's just relax.
Sure.
Let's keep it to the basics.
That makes sense.
And just, make sure that we play well and have fun. And, maybe there's something to it. When we're relaxed, we play, a bit better. We play more as a team. We're a little bit, more focused, essentially, as opposed to when we all get riled up. So maybe just trying to get the overall morale of the team moving in the right direction. And, when it comes down to it, they need 3 points out of this match versus 07 to have a shot. And
which
otherwise, it's 07 going on.
2 predictions. What do you think?
This is a hard one. I'm
actually going to go first, because you always go first.
Go for it.
Obviously, because I asked the question. I'm going to say that 07 is going to play out of their minds this game. They're going to. I think they're going to do really well against CD. I'm going to give it to 07.
Yep, and the biggest thing you got to remember is coming into this match last week, both teams got 5-0'd by their opponents. So maybe putting a little bit more focus on tonight's match than the matches right then. Both of those matches were low % chance wins, so maybe assuming that tonight was the night where they would have the best shot at surviving. So doing what they can to make sure they guarantee the win tonight. Who knows? That's my take on it. Overall, I'd have to say I do favor 07 slightly. Putting an exact number on it's hard.
That's not to say that CD can't win this, though.
Yeah, well,
definitely
so
not.
Now here's the thing. Do I think that 07 will straight up win? It's going to be close. Do I think that they get at least the 1 point out of the match? I would say odds are in their favor.
Yeah. Well, let's get right into it. The first map between CD and 07.
Cliff, the most dynamic map in the league. Battles on Cliff always turn into desperate double-edged fights. Teams start from the same spots as they do in standard battles. The first base is located near the defender's spawn point, and the second is at the bottom of the hill. Sometimes teams split their forces and send several tanks through the 1-2 line to the left of the small hill, but usually both teams play at the center. The attacking team can send one of the tanks up to the lighthouse or behind it. Fast and quick-firing vehicles are better suited for this map, mainly medium tanks, including tanks equipped with autoloaders.
So, looking at the lineup of 07, it's just going to be straight up 6 bat chats and a T-54 lightweight.
Meanwhile, CD, 2 TVPs, 3 bat chats, a Grill 15, and a T-54 lightweight of their own. And judging by the players' reactions, we actually have a disconnect, so we'll be backing out to the garage here. The second time this has happened tonight, unfortunately.
Yep.
But
hopefully this isn't the same reason, though.
Yep.
As the last
and
time.
hopefully you don't stay in the game for too long to where we have to tell you to back
No,
out.
of course not.
Never be a thing. Never a problem. That said,
I was just trying to play some tanks, man.
Yep. Now, one thing I do want to say about that whole can 07 just get the 1 point, I think so. The biggest thing they have to worry about is falling into that mindset of we just need 4, we just da-da-da. You kind of know how my mindset goes. It starts creeping in on teams. You kind of just get too relaxed. Oh, we got this, another one, and all of a sudden you're 1 point away from losing. Well, we need this round right now, guys. Come on. And, sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Way too much pressure, yeah.
Yeah, so, they need to make sure they play with some composure. Some early momentum would definitely be in their favor. Get some good points up early, especially on Cliff, would be huge for them. The lineup they brought, a lot of burst. When we do have a disconnect like this, the other thing you have to remember is teams cannot switch their lineups. So 07 are stuck with their 6 bat chats and their T54 lightweight, and CD are stuck with the 2 TVPs, the 3 bats, the grill, and a T54 lightweight.
Yeah. Again, interesting to see the TVPs. Obviously, we see that all the time on the map, but generally when you bring a TVP on Cliff, you're most likely going for an early brawl, or at least trying to get some early burst out on the field. CD aren't really a team that have been doing that too often.
Yeah, and they have a lot of good initial damage tanks. That grill can hit for 750, so you strike something with that, and the TVPs are there just to tap it a couple times to clean it up. That's a great opening play. The problem is that longer game. Once those TVPs fire the first clip, they're going to be on reload a lot sooner. They don't pump out as much damage.
Sure.
So it's good initial damage.
07 is coming with 6 bat shots.
So 07 can really keep that pressure up if they want and may come out the better of those trades. But then you look the third phase. Once those bat shots are all out, those TVPs are going to be back reloaded again. That grill's going to be consistent fire. So it just depends on, can they eat that first initial burst? Can they pump out a lot of damage and come the better? Or are they going to, kind of whiff, not do enough damage? And is it going to be CD that's going to be able to get into those second clips and keep those shots going?
I'm just interested to see which team is going to take initiative here and be the aggressors first. In my opinion, that's going to be essentially the deciding factor.
Yeah, and like I said, the lineups cannot change for either team. Both teams opting for those T54 lightweights, kind of an interesting choice. I've always personally preferred an RU-251 on this map. I think the gun depression helps a good bit, especially working the middle ridge. I do miss the days of 754 where we used to see a lot of T49s come and brawl out of that middle ridge.
Love that tank to death. Such a nice cannon on that thing.
Yep. There used to be days where we just see T49s just square off against each other at the top there.
Really inconsistent gun.
Extremely, but when it connects, it's
I
ridiculous.
love how much damage that tier 8 does.
Yep, and right off the bat, no pun intended, 07 pushing their bat chats up a long climb on the backside.
I see what you did there, right off the bat, because it's bat chatillion. No, that's clever. That's really clever.
So 07 will take control of the hill, and the rest of their bat chats are hanging out in the south. And right now, just 07 just climbing up the backside of the hill here. Merles is on his side. Not quite all the way on top yet. However, very passive defense out of CD. They have Yato in that bat chat over. Well, he was up on the boost on B1, but he's actually going to leave it now. It looks like he's going to head back to A2. Back into the bushes there. They have Fixer loaded up on the boost in that grill 15. Kind of interesting. Normally we see Pompous playing that grill, and the fact that they've moved X-Soldier into that and moved Pompous into a TVP is also a little interesting.
Yeah. But again, this is what I was talking about, bringing the 2 TVPs for potentially the early burst. CD isn't really a team that does that. They don't really go for early fights.
When you run a stagnant defense like this, that burst can come in handy as far as just knocking down any sort of aggression. When a team pushes out, the fact that you can just pump out, both those TVP clips, when you can get into those first kills early, it can really tip the battle in their favor. So often I've talked about the attacking team needing to kind of chip away at the HP of a defender to even have a shot, or they need to at least be even and get into that brawl at point blank where they can immediately start exchanging shots and not just be losing damage. With the TVP, what that allows the defense is that allows them to have that more initial damage they can pump out. So when the team does make that push, they can quickly get a lot of that HP down and leave themselves in a good position in the long run.
Costa is going to get lucky and bounce. I think it was about 2 shots before he finally got penetrated there.
Yeah, the heat shells out of that TVP hitting the tracks there, not able to do any damage. That said, they will start moving towards the 3 line where they'll have shots up the backside of that mountain. And just look at the positioning out of CD right now on the tanks on the hill is if 07 try to dump over on those bat shots, they're going to fall into these guns at E4. They're going to have good side shots there, and it's going to make it very hard for 07 to get any sort of aggression going right now. Now they have left Exo Rox and Letif in the very south. They're moving Static and Warbander out towards the 8-9 line. And they have these 2 bat shots on top of the hill. Now, if they work this very carefully, what I can see happening here is these 2 bat shots pushing to that bottom corner on cap. And what that's going to do is it's going to make these bat shots for CD have to come over to the backside of that hill towards D5-6. Once they're over there, these bats of Exo and Makos can push in and get behind them without the tanks over on the 3 line having the shots in their back. So it's one thing will trigger one rotation out of CD, and then 07 will have a response for it. If these bat shots push in too early, and these guns over on the 3-4 line are still in position, these 2 bat shots will go down for free. Then the 2 that have pushed on cap can just be picked apart from the guys up high. And it's just a very delicate situation for 07. However, they are going to start moving forward and trying to get into that position.
Yeah, well, with only about 5 minutes and 50 seconds left, we are going to go to the comms of CD in just a moment.
Get low.
Everybody aiming
Miro,
at
get
this.
low. Miro, get low.
Everybody aiming at this.
Their bets are trying to get ours. The ones in the bottom.
There's one bat not lit. There's one bat. There it is. There it is. They're all there. They're all there. Retake hill, Pompous. Retake hill. Yato, get up the rocks and just aim over here. Well, Jojo and Maril, just stay alive. Just stay alive. Just stay in the bowl. Pompous and I are coming up. Fuck the lightweight. Gabe, that's you. Gabe, that's you.
Their bets are aiming at us.
He's at 1 shot, 24.
And then I'll kill their 54.
They're probably going to pick the grill or rotate into these guys.
Exo and Makos are looking at you, Fixer. They're waiting for you.
There
to
you go.
spell it.
That's you. Fucking what you call it.
Do you want our bats on the hill to focus them down?
No. Exo.
Exo.
Oh, I found him.
Get him, Miro.
No, I can't. Get Makos.
I'm reloading.
Invisible.
Oh, no.
Reloading. Yo, guys, kill Warbander. Kill fucking Warbander.
No gun to press.
I'm loading.
Fucking
Fixer, can you hit Warbander?
One second.
Fixer,
I'll get him.
hit Makos, I mean. Fixer, hit Makos.
Got one gun.
Hey, he's fucking down. He's down.
I got a second on Makos.
Yo, watch out. Let it have shots. Let it have shots.
Get Exo. Nice. Makos has 10 seconds.
Just chill.
I'm
guys.
out of
Chill.
ammo.
Just
I'm
cool
out
it,
of
just
ammo.
cool it. Remember that.
I got 8.
I got lead. I'm reloading. I have 5 shots AP. APCR.
Six shots,
Gabe,
seven
back up.
seconds.
Gabe, back up. Gabe, back up. I need to
him.
get out of here. I will try shooting Makos next. Just relax.
Makos fired 1.
I
Just
should
relax.
be able to kill him. 1 second.
So although there was a lot of passion on the side of CD, they did a great job.
So all I want to say right now, in terms of that battle, is towards X-Soldier. Just a game and ready to have fun, man.
Yeah, what happened to all that? These dudes are clearly in there.
They're in the zone.
They're in there like swimwear, ready to go. I think my favorite part of all those comms, though, is when X-Soldier just literally forgot the name of one of his teammates. He's like, what's it called?
There's 6 others around.
Yeah.
You're going to pick one of them. You know, I know that it's kind of similar to parents mixing up their kids, calling them a dog's name or something other. You've never seen that happen?
I don't know how your parents raised you, okay? But I'm just saying, most parents aren't parents to 7 children or 6.
You've never seen that happen? Home Improvement? Never seen it?
Yeah. Anyways, moving forward, CD doing a really good job of just shutting down the offense coming out of 07. And honestly, X-Soldier, I got to give it up to him. He called exactly the play that we were going to do, which was going after the grill.
Yeah, and the biggest problem there was the miscoordination between 07. One of the batches up on the hill started firing towards that grill. And then when they wanted to dump over on those bat chats, they were already down shots. Then they were relying on teammates to pump out more shots so they could finish that up. And those trays just needed to be cleaner. Just overall, I mean, I like the idea. I would have gone about it in a slightly different way. I think slowing down, getting some cap pressure going, and then starting to work out towards that back end. Could have worked out a little bit differently, but just didn't quite get in there. And just look at it, Fosta and Warbandor both got focused out, weren't really able to get into the fight. Ledef also only got 2 shots off before he got focused down. So just not a lot out of 07 to where they could really get a foothold in that match. I like the idea, but just the overall execution and the coordination between each of the players just not there.
Yeah, well, overall, CD playing very well so far, and 07 with a little bit of a misstep. I hope this doesn't affect them for the rest of the night. The team is really solid, so there's really nothing else to say. 07 needs to make sure that they're playing together, and they're playing well. That's the thing. We've noticed that sometimes their communication isn't always on point. I'm interested to see what their comms were like, but I hope that's not going to be a trend for the rest of the series.
Yep, and looking at the lineups here, actually not too many lineup changes out of either team. One noticeable out of each team. It looks like 07 have dropped one of their batch hats for a TVP,
yep.
And then CD bringing the exact same lineup, except they dropped one of their TVPs for batch hat. So very similar lineups. That said, it is going to be CD now attacking. 07 are on the defense, and so we'll have to see how they open up. That said, it looks like the T-54 Lightweight and Warbandor are going to over towards the 1 line. Rox is going to be pushing up towards that Mountain Goat ramp. It looks like they're actually going to do the boost with Ledef and Exo on the back side of that hill. CD starting to take control of the hill. However, they will get lit, and some shots going off towards X-Soldier.
Oh my goodness, X-Soldier and Pompous. Horrible start for these two.
Pompous goes down. However, this is where we'll see the second push out of CD.
This could be everything right here.
These batch hats coming in. However, a majority of the guns are still together for 07, so they can hold this off. Exo does go down, evens it up. HP still in favor of 07.
All right, still coming in with trades of damage. Jojo Jackie trying to get shots off onto Fosta. He's going to find, not onto Fosta, onto Static. And Fosta, with the help of Warbandor, actually going to take out Gabe.
And Ledef is with a new clip ready to get shooting, and it's going to be Fixer trying to get some shots off on him.
Well, now let's see how CD does when they're somewhat behind. Let's go to comms of CD again.
I'm trying to push
I got
into
15
the
from right now.
Whooping.
Nice, Muril, nice.
Bats bail. Run, bats. Muril,
Now Yada's dead.
I don't think I can run.
Should we get on top?
They got to the nip without getting lit.
Yeah, they did. They
That's
did
because
like.
they went up to 4.
Yep.
All of them did, and we didn't get that fight.
What's their HP like?
They're like
Pretty healthy.
They have a couple of one shots. Hey, Muriel, go 2 cap. Go 2 cap right now.
The healthiest is the TVP.
Jojo. Okay, Jojo. Just yeah.
No,
there you
Jojo's fine where he is. He's fine where he is. Although if like the
go. Fuck. Oh, he's low.
Oh, they have
Like,
2
really
healthy.
low.
He should hop.
Jojo, don't die to that guy. Yeah.
Should I get close to the rock or in the
Actually, no.
lower area?
Avoid cap. Don't get on cap and come up here.
Fuck, this is really bad.
It's okay. We still got 7 minutes to play this out. But they got the shit. They got the shit areas. We can we got the high grounds. We can basically set up crossfires.
They're gonna
I'd get spotted if I tried to climb, right?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 54 lightweight's still alive, so yeah.
Not if you're behind the bush.
Well, could I get up there or?
You can try.
Should I risk attempting
The thing
to
is,
go up
they
there?
might
No.
just sit there.
No, don't
I
do
was
it.
gonna say if I get spotted.
So what's gonna happen is if we put someone on cap, they're gonna wrap around on him.
But we don't.
So-
We can't cap with X-Soldier.
Yeah.
We need someone on the hill. I can't cap because then you'd be over here.
If only I didn't go after 54 lightweight.
It's okay. Just
I-
relax. Relax.
They're just gonna camp and they're gonna wait for us to fight a cap.
No, that is probably gonna have to be your crossfire. If I put on cap pressure.
You should probably trade with Moril.
Yeah.
It's like 7 guys trying to finish a puzzle, like just trying to figure out which pieces go where, what can we do, but you don't have all the pieces. You're sitting there, well, what do we do? But you only have 3 pieces left on the 7-piece puzzle. What do you do? They're just trying to figure out the answer, get their guns together. That they're relying on just sitting here and holding a crossfire, hoping that 07 makes some sort of bad misplay. However, 07 are up by about 2,000 HP over them, and they have Warband and Rocks both on full HP still at this point.
It's not looking terribly good for CD. It's not impossible. And I like that they're still trying. They haven't given up. They haven't thrown away their tanks. They're still trying to make this possible and make this happen. But it's going to be tough. Luckily, they actually still have some time. I mean, almost 5 minutes this late into the game with one tank that's 1 shot, and then you could argue Ledif is 2 shots. So it's doable.
They start the cap pressure there with Merles. He's going to get on cap. And now it's up to 07 to figure out how they want to respond to this. Personally, I feel that the best option is normally to group up a lot of your tanks, especially the high HP ones.
Yeah, Warband and Rocks are probably going to come in first.
And make, in my opinion, make the push around the F line and keep yourself on one side of them where you can really kind of work those angles. So maybe try to crash in underneath the 7 line with a majority of the full HP tanks, and then leave a couple of the low HP ones out wide to try to find the weird angles. However, Warbander's going to push around. JoJo may get caught out. First shot hits the dirt. The other one comes in. However, Rocks is pushing on his side up the goat ramp, leaving JoJo Jackie with nowhere to go.
That was such a beautiful play from 07.
The bounce going out on static from X-Soldier as Ledif picks him up. Just great decision making there out of 07. Very well executed. They got Rocks up at that D4 goat ramp. And then when they pushed around, they just left JoJo Jackie with absolutely nowhere to go. Just left out in the cold. And now it's just going to be up to Merles, who will get picked up here pretty soon.
And you're dead. So 07 bringing it back beautifully and honestly convincingly. That was a convincing win for me.
Yep.
Especially the way they closed that match out.
A very good opening play. And once again, I talked about this on Attack. It's not saying stagnant. They kind of had the one opening play. Then they realized, all right, well, we have this overmatch. So they dumped into it. They pushed in. And then their control from there was pretty good. They, it was a nice little trap they sprung. They got some good early damage. They got Pompous down for free. And just overall, it was very well executed.
Yeah.
They were a little bit fortunate that CD weren't a bit more careful with some of their shot placement. They should have punished 07 a little bit harder. However, I still think even with that, I think 07 still would have edged this battle out.
And Rocks bringing it home with 3,300 damage. And then Warbender, Static, and Ledif pretty consistent across the board with each other. 22, 21, and 1,700 damage respectively. Now, Mariel did do 3K, and the thing that blows my mind is 3K, and then the next highest damage for CD is 1,600 out of X-Soldier.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at it, the thing that's kind of interesting here is Himmelsdorf is not a map that 07 are particularly strong on. Now, they're not terrible on it, but CD have a nice 50% win rate on this map. Going even, majority of their wins are actually pretty well split between attack and defense. So they play both sides at least decently, so they should have some good game plans. However, we'll have to see what 07 have planned for them tonight. 07 need 3 more wins to guarantee their spot in the online playoffs to come back
3
Thursday.
more points.
And
Because
CD,
it's impossible to get 3 more wins. This is the last match day for the round robin.
3 more round wins.
Correct.
However, CD need 4 round wins without 07 hitting 4 points.
Right, they cannot hit overtime.
Yep, they need the regulation win to have a shot, and the head-to-head will go in favor of
You
CD
gotta-
at that point because they just they play them right now and they would have won.
You got to
so.
imagine that 07 has ground out this map a little bit, especially because they aren't the strongest on it. I mean, that's what I would guess going into this battle on Himmels, is that 07 has worked on a lot of the maps that they probably were not so solid on, especially going into the round robin. The online playoffs.
Yep, so they need to pull something out of the bag right now, and they need to get some momentum going right now.
Yeah, well, let's get right into it. The next map between CD and 07.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
And look at this lineup out of 07. 350Bs, an IS-4, an IS-7, 4005 Stage 2, and a 1390. Meanwhile, CD coming in with two 250Bs, an IS-7, a 50B.
Both rocking a 4005.
Yep, and then a Batchat and a 1390.
This is the tank I've most seen actually Dodoma use this season. I love it. It's it almost looks like the same style of tank as a KV2, and it hits like
a freight train.
Well, yeah, because I mean, saying a truck, it wouldn't even make sense because that's lighter than a tank. But you get, it's like a freight train.
A lot of momentum, and those test shells can do a lot of damage without even penetrating.
Right.
So you just splash them. Well, not even splash them. Maybe hit them without penetrating. You still do 800-900 damage without batting an eye. And just look at this ambush that 07 are running.
God forbid if you actually pen with that thing.
Oh, yeah. And if someone comes around that corner and they're not ready for it and take a peek, that's going to be an instant pen. Fosta does peek up through the little gap. Does light X Soldier. CD playing it nice and slow, just leaving JoJo up on the hill in that 4005, looking up, seeing if there's some sort of crazy zero-line rotation coming out. However, 1390 is finally, of Gabe, is starting to push up towards that zero line. And I expect to see him work that zero line and look for anything over towards that 2-cap. However, they've left a lot of guns in the south here, so they could pretty easily flex out towards that 1-cap.
I don't know if CD is going to bite and actually go in there across that 8 line, but God help anyone that does. Gabe, are you going to be the victim we need, but not the one we deserve?
Blind shot going out there towards the 1 line from that 4005, not connecting though.
You know what slightly irritates me? Is playing in pubs, you cannot suicide off that cliff. I've tried. You know, when you're like the last tank alive, it's like 4-on-1. I was like, well, I'm not going to win this. I had like maybe 1 shot of health, and I was like, I'm going to suicide. Nope, I just ran right into the wall.
Please don't be like Dustin, guys. Don't be that guy.
The game was over. It's not like I could have won it. It was like 4 full HP tanks. I'm
don't
just
be
saying.
That guy.
I wanted to make it funny for everyone who was still watching, and instead I just ran into the wall. Like, I want to suicide off of it.
There is a cliff that you could jump off at.
Is it up
H9?
there?
Yeah, there's a gap there.
I tried. I really did try.
Randall will be nice and kind and show us the exact gap where if you decide that you want to end your life on Himmelsdorf,
there it is,
right there. However, please don't be this guy.
Well, obviously,
don't be this guy.
I don't encourage that. Unless literally you cannot, like if it's a 1v9, at least go out in style, which was what I was trying to do. I mean, there was my team had already lost.
But the stats, man, you got to get up what damage you can. Get the damage, get the kills. Even if you're going to lose, you might as well do what you can to pad your stats.
Don't look at me like that.
Look at you however I want.
Well then, what are you doing after work, James?
That said, CD starting to shift over towards the 3 line right now. 50Bs is kind of flexing around. We'll have to see if they make some sort of play towards this 1-cap Commodore in that I-7, starting to go towards B2.
Commodore. Got him.
So he'll be nice and hold down there, just like we saw
This is
that T10 earlier of Rude Awakening.
So the reason we're kind of going off topic and making these, this is exactly what you're talking about. When defenses and offenses tend to be really stale, I mean, no one is even making a move to try to get any information. Fixer is just comfortably sitting at the middle of the square.
Well, and the other thing you have to think about is, both teams have these 4,005s. You do not want to be the guy that finds one of those things.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's your HP. So they're taking extra time
but
to make
look
sure
at the time. Already almost 5 minutes has passed. And CD are on offense.
Oh, and X-Soldier is just going to hold that angle, and if any of these tanks back up an inch, he will light them. So just hope he doesn't spot anything. However, I don't think this trap is really going to come into play since CD are really shifting towards that 3 line. And what they're doing right now is they're taking control of this courtyard. I'm not a big fan of Fixer's position just because he can get caught out. But if you can really take control of this 3 line, and especially that D3 corner, you can really isolate that 2 cap, and that's probably your best shot to work right in here where Yato is and up that next corner on the right to where you can really isolate that 1 cap and have a chance at capping it out. But that said, you have to do that, and then the problem that you have to look at is what is their team going to do? With this position out of 07, more often than not, they'll push down and come across that courtyard, which leaves you in a very awkward position.
Well, with less than 5 minutes now remaining on the clock, let's go ahead and go to a listen-in with CD once again.
Gabe, rotate off. No, wait, no. Gabe, go down. See what you go your standard route.
I got 10, Gabe.
Alright, that's plenty. Just aim.
Okay, he's sitting on my hands like this, man.
Gabe, if you spot anything, just go straight down. They woke up for the eyes.
Okay.
I'm lit.
Are you?
I'm lit. Like literally the second that I
Gabe,
put my tracks out.
Gabe, go this way.
I got spotted.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, they
fucking
can
tall.
he can light you if you're too tall. 3 minutes.
Yes, I'm aware. Get on cap, dude.
There they are.
Push. Yeah, get this window right now. Get this window right now.
Jojo, I don't think you should.
This guy stay there. This guy get on cap.
Want me to move up to this building over here?
No. Yeah. Move up. I'm gonna go kill that I-7. There's 2 on 5.
I-7 fired.
I should go back to the hill, huh?
Yeah. Or no. Just aim in over here.
I hit the 1390 for you. The 50Bs are going to be flanking soon. I-7 fired.
FP fired.
Good kill.
I don't have shots on the I-7. He's in cover.
Jojo should probably move in.
Yeah, Jojo, you need to start coming around.
I'm reloading. They're gonna start pushing it behind. Muriel, you need to get the fuck out.
Yeah, there's 2 50Bs there. I'm going to start pushing up.
They're pushing. Everybody pushing on this one.
Exo's flanking.
So as soon as X-Soldier, because we can, as spectators, we can see everything. Exo going to get taken down. Wait a second. I'll tell that story in a moment. We're really going to trade out static, and now damage coming on to Yato.
But if this 4005 and the Doom Cannon's just going to end him.
Commodore is going to take some damage, but Ledif is going to get a kill onto Yato. It is 4 onto 5 with the HP pool advantage in favor of 07. And here comes Makos trying to finish out Mariel.
Jojo Jackie's lurking, and he takes out Makos. But now they know he fired, so they could push in. They can get him for free.
Yep.
And now they need to hurry up and clean this out.
Cleaned up.
They do find X-Soldier.
And he's going to go down, and this one looks like it's going to go in favor of 07. So what I was saying earlier, James, is when we heard, so we can obviously see everything that's happening, and one of the pings that was sent by X-Soldier to Gabe was go check out this area right now, go, and that was at C8. Now, as soon as he started moving, that song that plays on a lot of memes was, the Who Can Say, when you see someone that's about to just get deleted, and the second Gabe went around that corner, it was so bad, because we knew exactly what was happening. I imagine Tanks is in a game with a lot of jump scares, but that could have been one of them right there for Gabe.
Oh, yeah, you go around that corner and 350Bs and a 4005 just staring at you.
Oh, Jesus.
You walked into the wrong alley, kid.
Yeah.
Just good night.
Give me your bubble gum. So, down goes Gabe. That was just so unfortunate to watch. Poor kid. That bubble gum had no chance. Anyways, moving forward into the damages. It will be, it's actually Warbender in a 50B doing 4,300 damage. And let's look at the, let's see here. Ledif doing 1,800 in his 4,005. And then on the flip side, looking at Jojo Jackie doing 2,100. But Maril and Pompous still putting out damage for their teams. Pompous, again, one of the leading damage dealers in the league. Maril has come up and pretty consistent overall, though, I'll say, for the team of CD.
Yep, well, and what you have to look at is pretty close to what I was talking about before we went into their comms was, all right, they have control of the courtyard, and then they're going to try to screen horizontally across that D line and take control from that end. But the problem is to do that well, you have to control the whole courtyard, and the 50Bs and the 4005 just worked over to the 8 line, and then they were able to just push straight across the courtyard. They got, they just kind of boxed them into that corner.
Yeah, they did.
They had Commodore and Fosta over towards the 1 line along with Static, so they were it was a hammer and anvil, essentially. They had those 3 sitting there with a good crossfire.
It was a good play.
Ex-Soldier really struggled to try to find a way to get Commodore out. Fosta put some damage into him, and there just wasn't enough guns there to really push on that. And then Static pushed anyone was sitting there ready to punish anyone that came to help Ex-Soldier.
Right.
And while that was all going on, the 50Bs pushed across that bottom line. They got him behind, and they really opened up that crossfire.
50Bs that were set up at the gank, essentially. Did a really good job.
They just pushed across the 8 line. They got in there, and they just kind of slowly took control of the map again.
The thing that worked for me is, although they had taken some damage, but they were trading really effectively, and that's what really sold it for 07 was every trade that they got, they made sure it counted.
Yep, exactly. And, looking at the lineups for this next game, no more Doom counting out of 07. I'll say that much now.
Okay. It is going to be, looks like, all right, so 07 is going to bring 250Bs, 2 113s in the I-7. It's actually 350Bs. And then they are going to bring a 1390 as well.
Yep, and remember at this point, 07 are 2 round wins away from guaranteeing their spot to the online regional playoffs.
Playoffs, yes. Look at CD, though, still bringing...
215B,
4005.
Yeah, 215B, an IS-7, 250Bs, a 4005, a Batchat, and a 1390. Meanwhile, 07 coming in with 2 113s, an IS-7, 350Bs, and a 1390.
So I've noticed that Smiley Rage actually hasn't played at all tonight.
Yeah, he actually hasn't been here. Now, I wonder if that's either by choice, subbing him out, trying to go with a different lineup, or he had some personal issues that wouldn't allow him to be on.
Or something, right.
Yep. So, who knows? But if we find out, we'll let you guys know. And for those wondering, we still do not have any update on what was going on with Felix during that M60s match. So once again, best wishes out to him. Hope everything's okay there. That said, Ledif chilling out here behind the church, covering Makos. Makos also sitting in one of these windows, looking for some sort of early
scout. Makos at a neat little spot. I don't think I've seen that before.
Just in one of the little cubby holes overlooking the courtyard. You've seen it before against Deja Vu. Chase tried to push across that courtyard in that T10.
Oh, that's right.
That same window.
Yeah.
So now what he's looking for...
The angle was awkward.
Yeah, well, what he's looking for is he's looking for that 1390 to tuck into that corner at F8 on the bottom corner of that courtyard. What a lot of teams do is they push a 1390 into there very aggressively, and he can proxylate that whole corner. And so he's just there to make sure that gets denied, that autoloader just bursts out a 1390 if he pushes around there. And just, make it so they get punished. Meanwhile, Static, working this hold down on the 8 line, has good vision all the way up. He'll know if they're rotating in and out. Another thing that'll be interesting is those that have been paying attention to the test server and the next patch coming up is there's going to be some vision changes that are going to change how the fundamentals of the spotting mechanics will work. And
that's going to be huge.
More or less with that change, what's going to happen is tanks are just going to be spotted sooner. Say the cross over at the 0 line. When they make that push, normally it takes a second or two when they're halfway across before those tanks get spotted, especially at range. What'll happen now is as soon as parts of that tank start sticking around, you will see it. And so that could have a pretty big effect, especially going into our finals on some of these strats, especially the hard zero-line strats.
Especially if one of them is going to get erased before it even gets across any of those lines of scrimmage, essentially, on the minimap.
It gives them that extra half second to
pump in some damage.
Yeah, get some shots off. And, sometimes it's that half second to let that reticle aim in just a little bit further and, make sure that your shot goes into a good place. So that could change how a lot of these strats go.
Looks like Pompous is doing some construction to the map. So he takes out the
taking down that fence. He's going to make it hard for them to sneak up on him. Because what I'm going to assume is going to happen here is CD are actually going to bail out here. They're going to head back north here pretty soon. And what they're essentially just setting it up for is if 07 rotate in behind them to try to take this one cap, they won't have any of those buildings to work with, or the fences in that case, to provide them any sort of cover.
Gotcha.
Which really is just vision cover, because any sort of AP or APCR shells will go straight through it and do damage to any tank if you line it up correctly. 50B is looking for some shots on that IS-7 at the hold down at G3. We actually haven't seen this used a whole lot earlier, or this season. Before, we used to see it a lot out of the IS-3s and T-10s back in 754. And then more recently, we first saw a lot of IS-7s sitting there. However, what happened was a lot of teams started bringing those the Doom cannons, the Death Stars, the 4005s, the 183s. And the thing you can remember is you don't need to pen with those to do damage. So you fire 2 or 3 shots from HESH shells into the turret of an I-7, and you can just chip away at it. That said, 07 don't have a 4005 this round or 183, so they can play that spot pretty much with impunity. Unless they make a push into it, he could sit there for days and not really be in any sort of trouble. That said, they will choose to group up and push off, and they're going to try to box 07 in very quickly over towards his 8-9 line. Now, what I don't like about this is how 07 are set up. They have so many tanks dedicated towards the hill. They could have a pretty easy overmatch on those tanks in the south, and they could find them before the 4005 and the 215B push across. However, they're just not in a position. Now, the other note there is if you look at CD, they didn't check that bottom corner at all. They kind of poked around a little bit. But very easily, they could have just driven into a trap, and those tanks up on the hill could come up behind them and leave them in that courtyard with nowhere to run. However, the gamble pays off, not checking it, and they're in a pretty good position right now. That said, 07 are up on HP by about 2,000.
Well, with about 5 minutes gone on that clock, let's go and check in with the team of 07.
Okay. 4,000. Because we can collapse on these two tanks and get a reload.
Collapsing is happening right now.
I'm moving. I'm down to just shoot shit on the cap. I'm just gonna go in.
I'm coming with you.
Stacks reset.
There's a 4005. He's equipping.
I got killed.
The 4005.
4005 is looking. He's looking.
Okay. Are we on 4005? I'm on 4005.
Yeah.
He fired.
Pushing.
I got kill shot. I'm reloading. Watch 50B. You have 50B and B4. So 50B and B4.
I tracked them.
I can't hold them.
They're pompous.
13. I'm coming down the 8. I'm coming down the 8.
Flipping.
Static should be able to handle Fixer, I think, over time.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm coming to help you, Makos. Makos, I'm with you in 4 seconds. I'm
loaded. 10.
Exo, yeah, just hold the corner against Pompous, I think. He's probably going to have shells, Exo.
Can we kill this shit? Can we just kill this?
Yeah.
We have.
I'm on my way to help Cam if they push Cam.
Exo, just hold that.
I'm holding corner. Yeah, I'm holding corner. Aiming.
Nice.
Here.
Kill. I'm not peeking. Nice.
I'm pushing up where Cam is.
Mural shot 2.
I can kill Yato and
Nice.
Good game, guys.
Muriel and Pompous left. That's it. Just collapse
Mural
on
shot 2
Muriel.
so far.
I'm gonna support Static.
Okay, I've got Pompous.
Let him go in first. Yeah, I'm going.
He's down 2 shells right now.
You should have this. All right.
Yeah, what is this?
We're on Ruinberg defense.
Filthy.
Well then, Team 07 gonna take both sides of a map you would arguably favor is in CD side. Or in CD's
they're not,
side.
like I said,
in
they're
CD's favor.
They're not particularly strong on this map, but a lot of ingenious plays here out of 07. I like both of them. And the push there onto that 4005 was pretty much textbook. They offered up the 4000 or the 1390 as just
Here
a
you
sacrificial
are.
lamp.
Here's some cake.
Well, I mean, think about it though. They're in a situation. All right, your giant gun that does 1800 damage shoots a poor little 1390.
What they didn't know was there was a machine gun behind that cake.
Well, and even then, let's say they ignore the 1390. 1390 has 1200 damage. He's going to sit there and free
That's
if he's
true,
holding
yeah.
the shot. So it was a great situation where it's, yeah, take the 1390. We'll
More
give
of
it
a
to you.
hand grenade behind the cake
Yeah.
or inside the cake.
Yep, it's just go
don't,
for it.
Don't do that, by the way. Don't deliver a cake with a hand grenade in it.
That said, not only are they going to get all the kills, they're going to cap out as well. And that's going to be 3-1 in favor of 07.
That's 2 traps by 07 now. Tricky guys. Tricksters, you could argue.
Well, it's how you deal with those high alpha tanks. You know, someone has to eat a majority of the shots. And in that case, so say the 4005 holds his shot. The 215B is going to have to fire 2, if not 3 shots, depending on the rules. If he's full HP, which Foster wasn't, it would have been 3 shots for sure, and that would have been still with pens, with hash shells, and it goes on.
The whole shebang.
But anyways, my point is it's still at least 2 shots out of that 250B, who's the only other gun there with him. So that's at least a 7-second window that he has to pump out all the shots. And so he could sit there and basically kill the 4005 or put him down to extremely low HP.
It was just a good
by
situation
him.
for 07, and they made sure that they were in that situation.
It was just
they forced it.
Yeah, very well executed. They just offered up the 1390 as soon as the 4005 fired. They knew he had a 25-second reload, so they just pushed it, and great stuff.
Here's a cake with a hand grenade in it. And 07 going to do the most damage, 3,100. Ledif right behind him. 50B. Now EXO and a 50B also doing 2,500. Fixer and Yato were the only ones to get really any damage off for the team of Team CD. But it was only 2,000 and 1,900 for each, so that's where it fell off. And again, 07 just doing a really good job of laying the trap down with the 1390 and making sure that they were able to punish. So that's really what 07's done well in the past 4 battles.
Yep. And
or 3 battles. We are now on battle 4.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going on to battle number 5.
Oh, no. We are on battle 5. I was right. I was right the first time. Why? Stop doubting yourself. Talking to me, not you.
Okay, buddy. Okay. Need a moment? Need a moment? You good? Okay. That said, we are on to Ruinberg. It's going to be 07 on offense first. The thing is 07 actually have a fairly decent attacking record for Ruinberg.
They do.
3-5, which
not bad.
That's not terrible for Ruinberg.
For Ruinberg, it's not bad at all.
So, and their defense is much stronger than that, coming in at 7-2 on defense on Ruinberg. So 07, their defense. So that's at least one more round when you have to imagine they'll get on defense if they hold, and that's going to put them on 4, which is all they need at this point.
Right.
They could lose the match as soon as they get to 4 points. We don't care what happens. At that point, we're guaranteed online playoffs. CD's stuck in 7th place, glued. At this point,
to just play for their spot.
CD need 4 wins straight. Yeah. They cannot let 07 have another round win, or they are stuck in 7th place. They have to play the winner of that online qualifier tournament in a couple months.
All right, well, let's get right to it. The next map between these 2 teams.
Ruinberg, a mixed-type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the centre square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village when playing a heavy setup. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armoured heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the centre or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
Lineups. It's going to be 2 113s, a 50B, 2 Batshats, a T10, and again we're seeing this, a T10 and a Batshat Tier 9. Meanwhile, CD going to bring 2 113s, 2 50Bs, and then a 215B, a Batshat, and a T54 Lightweight.
Yep, and 07 are on offense. EXO is starting to go towards that middle road. However, he's just going to duck in there in that 50B. And actually, he's just going to come in behind the rest of his team here.
So one thing I'm interested to see is, and I think that's what they're doing with Makos right now, 07, is if you want to take that south play and you want to go down that 0 line, you need to make sure that you take control of the village as well. And so far, Makos has been the one tank for 07 to do so, if he stays. I don't know if that's their plan, but it looks like it.
Yep. Well, that's
Sorry,
fair.
I'm running into your lane right now, but I'm excited.
Yeah. So, looking at it, Makos will win a 1v1 versus Gabe in that T54 lightweight, no questions asked. Now, while he's over there,
I wonder if Gabe is is demoralized and absolutely terrified to just go around corners now.
He'll have nightmares about that one for sure. And now my question is looking at it. Makos is off by himself. Now, I do like that they have vision control, and he'll have pretty good eyes. They can't really get into this town without crossing him. However, say a 1390, or the T-54 Lightweight in this case, and X-Soldier both pushing it at the same time, it's going to be a 2v1, provided it's a tier 8.
Right.
Makos won't have enough clip potential to deal with both of them. He could barely 1v1 the Batchat, or clip out the Lightweight and have, 1, maybe 2 shells left over, depending on the
Or
rolls.
even that much HP left, to be honest.
Oh, exactly. So, a little bit risky. However, looking at the lane, he'll seek straight up across B6. So if they want to push in there, he'll have plenty of warning, and he should be able to run. If you noticed earlier when we were looking at him, he was already flipped around, ready to just drive in the opposite direction. So, not really a big deal.
Now they are moving another tank towards that village. It is going to be Exo now. So having 2 tanks in the village for control is great, but 07 again, they have to deal with Gabe spotting most of those tanks and then giving shots from most of the other tanks on defense in the Delta Village, shots over onto the team of 07.
Mako's just doing spot checks, just slowly backing up a little bit more each time, seeing if he gets spotted, and then pulling forward, waiting for that 3-second delay to go off. Sixth Sense does take 3 seconds to activate, so don't ever just poke up and just assume you're safe. You might want to back off for a second and make sure your Sixth Sense doesn't go off. If you don't have Sixth Sense on every single commander in your tanks, I would definitely recommend that that would be the first crew skill you get to a commander. If you feel like spending the gold, then train something else. Train repairs or camo or something that you'll get the benefit as you grind it up. But once your commander gets that first skill, give him Sixth Sense. There's very few arguments to not do it because of how useful it is. Knowing when you're lit is universally helpful.
Kind of a big deal.
Because it's not always inherently obvious, especially if a tank's in a bush or
right. You have
something other.
Especially in pubs. Sometimes you have no idea where you get lit from.
Yeah, and now, to be fair, there are a few arguments to be made for some of the more obvious tanks. For example, a mouse. You can just assume that you're always lit in a mouse.
Well, that's what happens when you roll around in a bus.
Yep. Now, personally, I'm still of the stance that you should still have Sixth Sense. However, I don't really have too much of a problem with the argument that some people say, it's a mouse, just assume you're always lit, you'll be fine. Yeah, you can get away with it if you really want to, but I'm of the fan, Sixth Sense is a must. So just something to think about there. As we get back to this game, Makos still, just once again, look at it. Poke forward, back off, sees if he gets lit. Their names in our mods will turn yellow if they do get lit. So each time he pokes out, he hasn't been lit once yet. Now he is going to go ahead and reload his clip. He fired a few times. Firing will drop the camo value of a tank. So firing a few times just to give his tank even worse camo to make sure that he's still not being spotted in the same spot. And after that, he's dropped his clip and reloading. And this is a rather interesting setup out of 07. Now that they're going for a very, very obvious play here. They're moving all their tanks towards the north. They're going to wait until the tanks can push in from the north. XO can cover them that 50B. Those Batchats can make that push. And then the heavy tanks here in the south will just push up the 6th line and start that crossfire. And it's going to be fixed or reloaded. It's going to find the short end of that stick if he's not careful.
Overall, I really do like the adaptation that the offense of 07 is taking here.
Yep, now Gabe has actually moved into a passive scout bush late in the game, so he wasn't there when they were doing that initial spotting check, and now he'll spot them, and they're going to have to push in across these 50Bs.
This is going to be a brawl, and saying so means that I want to get right into the comms of 07.
There, right there, just shot at me. Okay, good shot.
I think I hit that.
I'm shooting Fixer.
I think I hit.
Good,
I've been ammo wrecked
Fixer's
again,
looking
by
at
the
me.
way. I have no mag.
You don't have one repair. How many
Two shells.
Nice.
Nice.
Yo, if they push on you, I have two.
The problem
You
is
guys
they're
can
gonna push you
basket
now.
stick.
They're gonna push
Yo,
the bad
The 50B might need to move
They're
out.
going to push either heavies or bads.
Our heavies need to go aggressive into here, basically.
Alright, I'm going to push
I
up
have
the
shells.
delta. I have super duper rations, by the way, like, no kids.
Bounced.
You have to go this way.
Make sure EXO doesn't die.
Axel, can you pull back or?
We can get a 50B in here. There's one that's two-shottable.
I'm in a window.
You can put cap pressure on with Fosta too.
Let them push Exo.
Yo, there's a low
11-1-5.
There's a
50.
two shot. There's a
50B, yo.
two shot.
I missed my shot. Reloading 12.
Just kill the 50B.
Kill Mariel. I'm gonna get on cap.
We have good position. Can we put one on cap?
Do you want me to kill 2 and 5 or get the same
I'm gonna cap.
They can side scrape against
Letif
the
has no ammo rack.
Yep.
Yeah, Letif has no ammo rack, so he can get on cap. Yeah, I'm clipping.
But they have another
You'd be looking for
50B,
them
that's the
coming through the
problem, it
field.
wasn't lit.
Yeah, I am. I'm poking every now and then.
We have another 50B here.
I don't know if I'm permalit or they're not there anymore. They could have went. I think they went through the 0. Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Nice. Good shot.
They can shoot the one.
Nice.
Nice. I got this line.
I've got cap
Push,
pressure.
exo,
Here's the other 50.
Yo, I'm gonna get off cap here. I'm gonna get off cap here.
I
If
have
they get
2.
close.
I have 2. 2 shells.
Clip.
X-Soldier's permalit. Like,
Yo, I can stay on the
Exo, you're behind them all. Exo,
Yeah, I know.
There's 54 on one shot.
No shots, actually.
Clip and drive up.
I'm getting in this fight. I'm getting in this fight to help.
Hey, stall if you can. Stall.
Shit, I can't do shit, I'm dead.
Gabe's got the edge. 6 of HP.
I'm driving.
I have 8 unloaded.
Stall, Exo's close.
2 seconds.
I'm gonna shoot Yado.
Just get in there and clip them. Nice. Make them counter.
I honestly feel as though EXO may have taken too long to get into the fight here. Now it's still very much possible for the team of 07, but it's going to be harder than I think it needed to be.
Yep. Well, they need to make sure that they keep they punish Pompous really hard for making this push.
EXO's going to go down. Oh no, he's not. He's going to stay alive. Just kidding. The whole time. I knew exactly.
There's 2 one-shotters and a reloading bat shot, and Commodore doing a great job at blocking Pompous so he can't run away. He gets the pen. Now he needs to find Gabe very quickly. Oh, is Gabe going to get the better of him?
Nope, but here comes... Ooh, this could be a good play. Ex-Soldier going to get... Oh, no. It wasn't a kill. Oh, a bounce! What?
Oh, but X-Soldier gets the reload. And CD almost threw that round.
Clinching by the skin of their teeth there was CD. Honestly, I think Exo just took too long. Had he got in there a little earlier, he really could have made his clip count.
I wasn't a big fan of him stopping on cap, and it was a very clear effort to stop for a minute and look for shots and maybe make them think about pulling something. Excuse me. However, as I
please continue as
clear my throat there, just dying a little bit. However, the point I was getting at is once they knew that FFTB was on cap, and they knew that there was 1 tank on the other cap, so it's 2 tanks on cap circles.
They weren't going to... I know exactly what you're saying. There was no reason for that team to pull away because most of the fight was right in front of them.
Yep, well, and they knew that they still had that overmatch. And with only 1 tank on cap, that's still 2 minutes essentially to cap out. So they knew they had plenty of time, especially with all the bat chats and the T-54 lightweight alive for them. So they had plenty of time to react. So they took that engagement towards the lower half of that town.
Yeah.
And they got the kills, and they just almost threw it there at the end.
Yeah.
Commodore in that Tier 9 doing 4,200 damage.
Yeah. T10 doing 42. Is that I think that's the most damage we've ever seen from a Tier 9.
We've seen some Tier 9 bat shots get up there. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me,
that's not true. I don't know if it was a Tier 8 or Tier 9 artillery that we saw out of Baby Halo. I think it was like up to 5K
they
damage.
Have 40, 43 on mines. He put up some insane numbers.
So it was a Tier 8. But yeah, Tier 9, that's pretty good for a T10. Letif, Warbender, Makos, and Fosta, though, Fosta kind of just got destroyed in that Tier 9 bat shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And the weird thing about here is, so we have 1 more round on Ruinberg defense for 07.
Right.
Now, Ruinberg defense being Ruinberg defense, you have to like their chances.
Sure.
However, if they don't, this is going to be decided on Muravanka.
Interesting.
A map that 07 actually have a very, very good attacking winner on their 4-1 overall attacking on Muro. So if we get that far, it'll be interesting to see what happens there, because CD doesn't play Muravanka that often, and when they do, they're not the greatest at it. They're not terrible, but they kind of struggle on it.
They're all right. They're all right.
So that said, am I really seeing this right now? Some of you are going to see this lineup, and you're going to see 1 tank, and you were just going to kind of scratch your head like, what?
Could that be the Leopard PTA?
That indeed is what it is. Why
so, tell me about this tank.
There's not a whole lot to say other than it's a little Leopard that doesn't do anything well. The Tier 10 Leopard is at least fast, very accurate gun.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those.
Hits hard. This thing has a terrible aim time, terrible reload, terrible DPM, and just is a moving ammo rack.
So why would you bring it?
There's got to be something that they're bringing it for that I am just completely missing, or that Yato just really wants to play as Leopard PTA. I don't know. I don't even know many people that have actually ever enjoyed playing that tank to begin with. Fossa taking some early damage in this village. 07 have kind of given up control of that whole village to 07. And the thing to look at here is CD have a very, very aggressive lineup with nothing but medium tanks, essentially. And so they're taking control, and they have a lot of burst. However, 07 have a lot of heavy tanks and a lot of HP to really soak up a lot of that burst. So if those 50Bs can get in there and really, dump their clips off, they can put a lot of pain down on these batch shots very quickly. Why you would bring a Leopard PTA over, say, an MX-30 or a Tier 9 batch head is a bit beyond me. Its camo values are...
Whoa, the shots coming out onto Letif. There's got to be something you're missing here, James. Because you've literally said that tank is almost non-existent as far as what it can do.
And Static going to push in here against this TVP. He's going to eat the shells, but now Pompous is just reloading, and he just has to run.
That TVP, unfortunately, not getting as much damage as he wanted to, and now the T-54 lightweight of Fosta is going to come around and at least get 2 shots off on him. And there it is, 986 with the help of his teammate. Pompous taking damage, but so is Maril and X-Soldier.
07 or 6,500 HP from clinching their spot in the online playoffs. Pompous is reloaded, but Fosta finds the kill.
And let's go straight to the comms of 07.
Jojo Jackie fired one.
I'm fired one. I'm running.
Nice, just find him.
I'm on Jojo if I can.
Static's coming in.
Low health, thanks.
Jojo track.
I'm gonna try to ram.
Jojo, Fixer, Gabe.
Fixer, Gabe, Jojo.
I'm on Gabe. I've got kill shot on Gabe.
Nice.
Yeah, anyone kill Jojo?
Yeah, I got 3.
6.
I actually have
boys.
this. I got yellow reloaded.
Morphic, we're coming for you, bud.
Guys. Good
Coming
job.
for Morphic. All right.
Wow. It's the fastest comms I think we've ever heard as far as a match going. From not so much Static, but kind of pre-battle to post-brawl, and that was fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And just overall, the push came through from 07. They counter-pushed into that town after they pushed Static into that middle road, and they got Pompous out for free. At that point, they could just eat the shells and just trade them out.
But look what that means, James. 4-2. 07 is guaranteed 6th place, which means that CD's dreams of essentially moving on without having to play for that qualifying spot are dashed.
Yep, so they take 7th. So at this point, CD have to play the online qualifier tournament, or play the winner of it. So the details on that will be released at a later date. Sure. However, looking at the damage here, Pompous coming in with 3,100 damage. Commodore, Letif, Static, Exo, and Makos, all for 07 doing very well. I see you light up there, and I already noticed.
No, you don't know anything.
I know exactly what you're going to say. You don't know anything. I was going to avoid it because I wanted you to be surprised when we got into battle. But we'll leave that a mystery. Let's just leave that a mystery for everyone else.
You think you're so cool sitting over there.
Yep. So overall, though, I like it out of 07 once again. They're on defense on Ruinberg. They kept it nice and tight. They had a lot of HP. Those 215Bs, 2,500 a pop, great DPM. They had enough HP to just weather the storm of all those bat chats. And those bat chats aren't the greatest tanks in that Delta Village, there's not a lot of room to flex around, and so once you're head-to-head with heavy tanks...
No, that was just, honestly, 07 doing exactly what they needed to do.
Yep, just pumped out a lot of shots. And now at this point, it doesn't matter what happens for the next 3 rounds. If you're 07, you can sit here and have some fun, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
But you know what this is good for in CD? Well, we have to see how they respond, even knowing that they're going to be down, because the big thing for them is going into the Gold League qualifiers. Once again, they have to play for their spot. How is this going to affect them? Is their morale going to be down, or can they pull together, still play well against a current Gold League team, as they just were a Gold League team, and pretty much dominate the competition and keep their status within the league? So,
yep, absolutely. And
there's going to be a little surprise, though, coming into this game.
Yep, I already like what I see. So this should be a good bit of fun. They are on Muravanka, as we said, and it will be CD having to attack. So
not the best situation.
Now 07 aren't the greatest on defense on Muro. They have struggled a bit. It's their offense for some odd reason that they play very well. And it has to do with a couple things, but overall, their attacking game plan they normally have is very, very controlling. They do a good job at neutralizing the field. Now, I'm not saying they go and find all those light tanks that are hiding in bushes, but they do a good job at making sure they're not a factor.
Yeah, well, let's head right into it. Potentially the final map between Team Cibel de Truet and 07.
Muravanka, a map with a great number of buildings, bushes and trees, amongst which teams hide for most of the battle. The attacking team begins the battle from the top of the village, and the defenders start from the bottom of the map. Both bases are better controlled from the hill near the first base, and from the green in the lower left corner of the map. There are many attack directions. The attacking team often attempts to gain the attention of defenders by putting pressure on the first base, whilst manoeuvring several tanks behind the second base to deliver fire into the defending's flank. Team setups are very diverse, but the players often choose the fastest tanks, even for heavy setups. They could even bring SPGs.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have none other than Meadowhawk playing for the side of 07.
Lineups coming in, CD and E5, 257s, 3 bad shots, and a 1390. Meanwhile, 07 coming in with 2 257s, an E5, 3 bad shots, and a AMX 1390.
Let's go ahead, if we can, go straight to the tank of none other than Meadowhawk. Look at this guy.
So just like comps, Meadowhawk does know how to press W on his keyboard, so he hasn't forgotten that much.
Rude.
Been a while since he played. That said, they're just trying to shoot out the roof of a lot of these buildings, making it easier for them to blind fire towards Cap. Camador getting blocked out by Meadowhawk.
Hey, what do you do? Hey.
And a very aggressive push coming out of 07 towards that one line, and they're going to go ahead and just dump their heavy tanks onto Cap, try to get some Cap pressure going. And now it's going to leave 07 having to respond very quickly.
Well, let's go ahead and take a listen to CD and see exactly what they're trying to do.
Any angle. Oh, right here, I think, right?
They're just pushing in.
No, they're not.
Rotate back for sure. I got nice job, man.
Reloading.
12 seconds. Get ready to put your next clip in. Get ready. Oh, wait, back up.
I'm clipping.
One shot left.
You gotta block from me, dude.
Getting shot in the ass. 1390. Got Fox on camp. Wait, don't body block him.
The batch head's clipping me out.
There you go.
How much ammo does the batch have?
I don't know, but they fired 4 in total. I don't know how many.
They killed me, so they should be. Oh.
I have 10 seconds left on my clip.
12 seconds.
Foss is a one shot. He'll be loaded before me.
I have 5 seconds left. I'm gonna kill Warbender.
Get back on Cap. Let me come back to us.
1390.
I kill.
That was fun.
Poor Meadowhawk.
Meadowhawk got literally dumped over on. That's rude. We don't condone team killing here at WGLNA.
Wasn't even a team kill. He just got pushed out in front of everybody and ate up a majority of the T-57 shots out of CD. And I do like that play out of CD. They dumped onto Cap.
It's a good play.
They took a lot of very aggressive map control, and then they forced 07 to have to respond to it. They took aggressive control of that one line, aggressive cap pressure, and they had a lot of burst between the Batchats and the T-57s. And the DPM on the T-57s is insane. It's almost 3,000 base. And so they had to come in. T-57s just click, 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 and all of a sudden that's Meadowhawk dead.
I don't think anyone clicks like this, by the way.
You'd be surprised.
Actually, I would be surprised.
Probably what you look like playing artillery.
No, I usually look like this playing artillery. It's like with my hand on the mouse, eating some chips, you know.
Okay.
The classic arty look.
You rock it very well.
Yeah, thank you.
That said,
you wear it great.
Overall, out of 07, just a little too far behind. They didn't have any intel that push was coming out on the one line, so
CD just literally executed them.
Yeah, so especially Port Meadowhawk didn't even get off, I don't think, any damage. That said, Fixer putting up 2,600, Pompous doing 2,600 as well, and then Jodo Jackie at 2,000 and a 215B.
EXO coming in pretty hot for his team, doing the most for 07, and that is going to be at, 1,900 for a Batchat, or even just for the whole team holding up the end. It's just not that great, and we saw pretty much the entire first page was all CD.
Yep, and now we're going to swap sides. Now it's going to be 07 on attack.
So
which,
there's a very good chance
earlier,
this game does go to overtime.
They play pretty well on attack, so we'll have to see what they break out this time. That said, if we do go to overtime, it will be on steps. And then that would go to the fastest attacking victory, which I think we just witnessed.
Yeah, definitely the fastest attacking victory. A Meadowhawk is going to be staying in. So I'm interested to see what he can bring to the table. We're about 10 seconds out from starting this next map. Or not this next map, but this next round. I don't know. Do you give it to 07?
I like their chances. However, it did get confirmed the fastest attacking victory is one we just watched.
Yeah, it was
2 minutes and 46 seconds.
So if we do go to overtime, it will be steps, and then CD
would be
will
picking.
choose.
Defense would be 9 times out of 10 what I'd pick. So
well, I forget what game it was where we witnessed a team actually pick offense in overtime. Was it? I want to say it was AM60s. I could be wrong.
I think it was AM60s attacking on Himmelsdorf, and they'd already played Himmelsdorf once when they won their offense, I think is it.
Yes.
I'd have to double check.
We could be wrong.
That said,
two T57 heavies coming out of 07, a 113, a 140, 2 Batchats, and a 1390, and CD going to bring 3 113s, 2 Batchats, and 2 Tier 9 Batchats.
Yep. That said, CD going with a pretty standard well, actually not even a standard defense. They're going for the raw aggression up the 4 line, ready to meet them head on, but poor Fosta could be walking into the wolf's den.
Gabe is AFK, though.
Well, he's sitting down there.
He's not AFK, but...
They know that this push is coming out of CD, and they've only spotted Fosta. Static has taken control of the one line sitting there in that village. They are leaving EXO up by the lighthouse. Portion of shots downrange in that 140. And now, if you're CD, you're in a very bad situation. These 113s should have some decent shots across the F line here. However, it looks like 07 are coming out the better on these trades right now. And now Warband looking for some shots down that F line. Yato's actually rotating in, so he may be able to sneak in there and find a overmatch. However, Meadowhawk is just going to go ahead and push across and get on the far end of Cap.
It's because Meadowhawk is a man.
And now it's just CD left in the low ground. EXO's doing a good job at just working them down, getting good shots off. Foss is actually going to run away and try to chase some of these Batchats, make them run and come chase him. However, they understand that that's exactly what he's doing, and they're going to dive back towards the rest of the fight.
And let's go ahead and go into the comms and minds of Team CD.
Kill that fucking
attraction.
Got kill.
Make him. Use his rep.
Nice.
I have 2 in my clip.
I'm reloading. Commodore is going to push around on me. He's going to get one shot into me most likely.
I'm reloading.
95.
Never mind, I got out.
dive on me.
1390 is over here.
So we should probably be ready for that.
Oh, just be careful. We'll have the 1390. Oh, great.
Oh man.
Rip.
I got the great camo that I can see.
Oh well.
We tried, boys. Yeah, I really enjoy throwing, dude.
That last statement. I don't really think. I think that may have been a little bit of sarcasm.
Season's over. You're frustrated. You're stuck in 7th place. You have to play the winner of the qualifier tournament, which there could be some very good teams that come out of that.
And that is silver, correct?
No, that's completely different than silver.
Oh,
Silver,
different, completely different.
First place silver automatically takes highest place, essentially. The winner of the qualifier tournament has to play the 7th seed, which in this case is going to be CD.
It's going to be CD, yeah.
Now, Meadowhawk.
Who is currently winning silver?
Right now it is, I believe, Good Game up in first, which is a bunch of the old Googly Botter players and a couple guys from Elevate previously. Urtai, G-Forcer.
So good team.
Lost decent team. And then also the Red Candids are up there, the Brazilian team, formerly known as Game Over. They went to the last Global Grand Finals to represent Brazil.
Nice.
So they're a couple of pretty good teams down there. So we'll have to see. And we'll actually, at some point, be casting the Silver League Finals
we will.
live here from the studio at some point.
We will.
I believe that is going to be the 18th, but that is besides the point because the next broadcast that we are going to bring is going to be the online playoffs on Thursday.
And 07 will be in there.
Yep. So as soon as we can get our admins to confirm the exact seeding of all these teams they finish in and who will be playing who, we will let you guys know, hopefully before the show is over. That said, Thursday is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to decide which of those teams.
But let's talk about 07 right now.
Yep.
And how well that they played over CD. Obviously, they gave away a few rounds, but you could even argue the last round they gave on Muro when they were on defense was kind of a throwaway. But I got to say, that's something that they need to work on for the online
playoffs. Well, it was just a very simple thing. If they had one medium tank get out in front of their group down the 2 line and make some sort of opening scout run where they know those tanks are there, they could have responded a lot sooner. But instead, they didn't have any eyes. It was just Fosta off on the other flank trying to get some intel. And it took too long to rotate into position. And look at our boy Meadowhawk coming in.
Oh, yeah.
2,700 damage in that T-57, so not bad there. Commodore 2,600. And then Pompous, Fixed Reloaded, and Merle's all coming up for CD. But then Fosta in that 1390 doing 2,300 damage at 1390, including the ammo rack on that 113 at the end.
Yeah.
So overall, good stuff out of 07. And then this kind of just says it all for CD. Jojo Jackie at 900 and everyone else further below that, just not able to get into the fight.
It's been such a good day of tanks. Not only because some of the matches were great, but I got to see Comps play, and then I got to see Meadowhawk play.
Yep, and looking at it, Pompous coming in here with.
And then I got Jay Smooth back. You know what I'm saying? It's been quite a good day of tanks.
Pompous coming in there at 17,000 damage, so doing what he can to put out the most damage this season. He's up in the running still, but
still
dropped off a little bit until gained some gain on Smiley Rage because Smiley Rage was not playing
Smiley Rage
tonight.
wasn't even playing tonight. That's something else that you got to think about.
So we'll have to see what happens there. That said, Ledif coming in at 1,100 damage, the new addition from Get Flanked, not bad. And then X Soldier,
really
10,000 damage. Yeah, no, Ledif's done a lot for him.
Yeah.
You hear him talking in there pretty quick on the decision making. Understands when things have to happen, and it's been working out well. So. Despite him being a caller, which can sometimes be a problem, a lot of callers feel they have the best idea and they disagree even with other callers and kind of causes some friction sometimes, some sloppy decision-making because they're not always on the same page. But in this case, it seems to be working very well. He's had a lot of good performances, including the one versus Eclipse.
Yeah.
So representing Get Flanked and still doing well for him.
He was solid, man. I miss Get Flanked, but, they had to go. Dwight. Still, my heart goes out to the man, but we'll probably see them again, especially with players like Ledif. That's very impressive. But 07 is going to clinch their spot, and I would love to see 07 come to the regional finals, but in order for them to do so, they're going to have to play every single game in the online qualifier, the online playoffs, the way they played Eclipse.
Yep.
In my opinion, that is the only way they even have a chance of making it.
Yep, and they're not going to have an easy match in front of them because
No,
they're going to be
they're not.
they're going to be the 6th seed going into that.
Yeah.
So I'm relatively sure. Well, 3 points. Rival won though, so Rival will still hold on.
Rival will still be 5th, I believe.
Yep. So like I said, once we get that confirmed, we'll let you guys know. That said, if you want to watch all the replays from tonight and all the previous nights, you can check out the YouTube channel at /WGLNA and see all of the VODs off of there. Also, the website at WGLeague.net. So check that out. See all the scores, not just from North America, but from all of the regions. See what's going on. There should be some more Tanks action this weekend. I believe a lot of the regions are heading into their final weekend of their regular season as well.
Yeah. Well, also make sure you're following us on social media. That is going to be at WGLNA, and then using the hashtag WGLNA to send us comments and tweets where we will feature them live on stream. This is going to be the end of the show. Next week, we actually are going to have a special guest commentator. One of us will not be here next week, but we'll let you do a little guessing game and figure that one out. We're not going to share the details of that. Also,
let's actually take a second and take a look at our updated standings as they stand right now.
Let's do that as well. So standings, obviously Apex numero uno, 6 points above the next team, and that's going to be Eclipse in second.
So what that leaves, and that I believe we'll have to double check. I believe that should be high down in 8th place and CD surviving. That said, looking at it other than that, that'll be M60s versus 07 in the online playoffs on Thursday. And then Deja Vu versus Rival Simple Tankers. So those should be 2 very good matches coming to you on Thursday. And that'll pretty much decide who's staying in the Gold League next season and who gets to come here to Burbank to play in the regional finals for their shot at $90,000 for first place or much more.
Not bad.
Nope, not at all. So good stuff overall there. Yeah, overall, it's been a good season. This ends the second round robin.
Second round robin. Again, make sure real quick, get your tickets. They are free, but it is a first come, first served basis, and that's going to be at none other than WGLNAfinals.eventbrite.com. Free tickets. If you're in the area, you like tanks, there's no reason for you not to go over there and register.
Yep. Also, check out the Tim and Ted show. Be Ted and Tim Hamlet talk about all things WGLNA, fantasy, and so forth. And it's a good time. A lot of pro players hang out in there as well and talk to them. It's pretty interactive. Always fun time.
And we were about to close out the show, but it looks like we are indeed going to have to Skype interview with none other than Meadowhawk. So we are going to get that going for you in just a moment. Overall, this season, it was kind of weird the way everything started out and the way things kind of closed out in the second round robin. A lot of teams that were supposed to do well did, but then a lot of teams that were supposed to do well didn't, and it took them a while to pick up. Aquatic M60s were weird how they started off, and they were not very strong, and then all of a sudden they were competing with teams and beating teams like Eclipse and putting Apex into overtime. And then you have teams like Rival, which we expected a lot from, and in fact, they really faltered at the beginning of the season, and now they've made it to 5th place. So a lot of interesting outtakes from the season for me, especially coming into tanks as a new player.
Yeah, definitely. Some things not as surprising. Apex really putting their foot down, especially after they picked up some players from Simp. They have just been completely dominant this season. Eclipse making a few additions as well. Not quite as dominant, but doing what you'd expect.
Yeah, well, let's get right into it with Meadow. Welcome, sir. We almost didn't have you tonight. And congratulations, you will be going to the online qualifier. How does it feel? Or it's not I keep calling it qualifier. The online playoffs. There it is.
Yes, it's really good. It kind of started off rocky there with the Cliff games. Obviously, Cliff's not our strongest map. We tried some things, didn't work. But I love the fact that our traps on Himmelsdorf for Gabe.
Oh my
Best effort, respect for Gabe. That guy took a bit too much tonight, but it was good. I'm just excited because Foster finally threw me in. So
yeah, it was great to see you play, and you topped out damage for the last match. Not bad.
Yeah. The first one they knew how dangerous I was, and they just focused me right out. Second one,
nice.
The second one they let me roam free, and that's what happens when you don't cage the beast.
Fair enough. So you guys will be playing versus M60s come here on the online playoffs. What are your thoughts going into that? How do you think you'll stack up versus them?
Well, we have a lot of work to do. They beat us in the first round robin, and then we did a lot of work, and they still beat us. I think the famous quote was EXO is, we knew what they were going to do, and we still lost. So there's Fosta is going to get his nose at the grindstone. We'll figure stuff out, and we'll definitely be ready for them on Thursday.
All right. Awesome. Well, again, congratulations, Meadow. We hope to see you at the Burbank Finals. If you are able to beat the 60s and qualify, having you down here with your team would be great, but you do have a tough opponent in M60s ahead of you. So good luck, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, see you Thursday.
All righty. Well, that is going to close us out for the